Good morning, beautiful. I hope that this finds you well rested, ready to begin your day. This is your daily tarot and oracle, your daily insight on life and love for August 4th, 2022, also being timeless. Wherever you're catching a time, this might be relevant or maybe just entertaining. This is general collective. Don't force this to fit your life. If you do have questions about booking a private reading or any of the services I provide, at the beginning of the video and at the end of the video, there's going to be a pinned part where it has all the ways of contact. Also, it's in the description, so feel free to reach out, see what might be right for you. Talk sales, pricings, discounts, availability, time zones, all that jazz. Let's kick this reading off. It looks like there's a lot of recklessness and fear and almost being naive about taking the next step. It looks like you're just generally not ready. You don't quite know what you're getting yourself into. And no matter what you do, you can't quite make ends meet on this. I see that this is not the start that you want. This is messier than you had hoped. And I see that this is getting the best of you emotionally. I think that you want to be a lot more neat and composed than you had been on this one, but it's time to get things moving. Let's see. I want this card here. Scroll that down. Here we go. Okay. So I have like 10 cards in front of me, and a lot of them are in reverse. We have the Queen, which is laying on top of the Fool. Both are in reverse. I see that this is somebody who's never getting to the point, who's confusing themselves. And I do feel like there is so many, there's so many options, there's so many influences and little bits and pieces that you have to take into account for. There's a lot of confusion about what is going to be part of this new chapter or this new start. And let's see, what else am I seeing with this? This is somebody who is being irrational, so you might be feeling a little bit crazed. And it seems like you can't get away from the choices on this one. Your emotions are running incredibly high on here. I see that the last thing you want to do is drop the ball. You don't want to be lazy. You don't want to give up. One of the biggest fears in this is that you are going to give up again. And I see that you're being incredibly pessimistic. There's no chance that you're going to have optimism on how any of this is going to turn out. It's almost like you're walking into an active volcano itself, and you know that you're going to get burned. And you're not even going to try to lie to yourself about it. You're marching yourself towards what you feel is your demise, but you're still doing it because you've come too far to go back in your mind. Whatever this is dealing with in your life, since there's a lot of earth energy around this, I think that this is dealing with security, it's dealing with the home. I do feel like this is potentially dealing with finances. There's a lot of pessimism around this. And I see that you do not have, it's like you have nothing left to lose. It's like you have nothing left to lose and you can't pull yourself back. We have this card right here. I think that, sorry about that, had a client who I had to book quickly, but here I am back again. So you have the willpower to get through all of this, but there's also this issue with you not compromising anymore, throwing yourself entirely into it. It's either all in or not at all. And this has come to you recently. You've had enough disappointments and enough letdowns in your life where none of this is going to be something that is up for interpretation anymore. You're not dealing with anything that is going to be left up for interpretation. So this, I see that this stick that you were pretending is part of the fence where you were taking its place and trying to hide behind it and guard yourself, you're taking this and you're probably going to be bapping people upside the head with it. And I mean this in a figurative way. Let's see. I see that this is somebody who has healed from their wounds, and they're not at a point of being better from it yet. I see that this is more along the lines of they're still very sore from what happened emotionally and mentally. So with everything that you had been through in the previous years, the previous few years, being forced into detrimental situations, being forced into just surviving without any help from anyone, or if there was help, then a lot of people dropped the ball on it, and it was half-hearted, and it was very conditional. And again, it's more likely that you didn't have any help. You had to learn how to do things all on your own. This was a major growing period for you. This was major strength training for you, and you learned to not compromise not only your integrity, but your intentions. You're gonna do whatever it is that you want to do with this. Now, let's clear the air on that one, because I'm not condoning narcissistic, abusive, illegal, crazy behavior. I'm not doing that. So if this is where you're taking that, then there's something else that's going on that you need to figure out. And I'm not berating you, but I'm also not going to give the illusion that that is okay. It's not. You're being absolutely bullheaded, but this is about not compromising what your integrity and intentions are. So I see that this is a cycle that has yet to come to an end in your life. And I see that you are kind of masking it with the sense of emotional overcompensation, desire. I feel like there's something that you want to set up as a foundation, and it's like this concept of happy life, happy home, whatever this involves. Some of you, it's a family, some of you, it's pets, some of you, it's solitude, some of you, it's all work related. But your happy home is the offer that you're kind of setting up. Like, what do you want to do? You just want a general sense of peace, and you want it to be something that is all your own, and it's something that you want to set up, something that you want to be fulfilled about, and it's something you want to be in control of. This seems like it's going to be giving you a sense of ultimate fulfillment. But in doing this, we also have to see what the current mindset of this is. So looking at the current situation, you not being ready for this new phase, you're going after something that you're not ready for. You're pushing the envelope, you're being hasty, you're being impulsive. And this does happen sometimes, but you have to understand, even if you're pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, it's going to lead to some sort of upsets and setbacks, and something that it just seems to take forever. You know, when you focus on something, it just seems to drag on. Each second is like expanded tenfold. And I see that's what's happening as a result. You want it now, it's not ready now. So an immovable object meeting an unstoppable force, when those things collide, it creates some sort of clash sound. And it's going to be a battle of which one of it is stronger. And I mean that in a very figurative way. So I see that you are staying steady and staring at this impulsively, aggressively, almost like, I'm totally aging myself with this. Did you ever see Happy Gilmore? 90s movie, Adam Sandler. He plays golf. He's some sort of a golf genius through some sort of, I don't know, hockey accent or something. I haven't seen it in years. But he gets down to where the golf ball is. It's right on the cusp of going into the hole. And he is just totally trash talking that ball to get into that stupid hole. And it ain't moving until it's time to hit it. That kind of seems like what's going on right now. And it is absolutely infuriating. Yeah, I'm not gonna grab that right now, it's fine. So, it looks like everything is just for show right now. The fact that things seem pleasant, the fact that people are talking pleasant that normally would be talking smack, everything seems to be for some sort of visual appeal, a visual aesthetic. And I'm seeing that nobody is fulfilled by this. everybody is so afraid of losing whatever their reputation is. Some people absolutely have no worry for whatever their reputation is, but I see that whoever you feel like is challenging you in this, it's an issue with personal reputation. And I also see that nobody's fulfilled, not even the person who is on the other side of this. You're not fulfilled. It seems like there's nothing that anyone can really work with. There's a lot of fighting that seems to be going on behind the scenes that I don't even think that you are fully aware of right now. People who would normally be at each other's backs and have each other's backs, they seem to be at each other's throats. Nobody is playing nice. Nobody is being considerate. Nobody is even giving the sense of care towards each other. This is backbreaking, and it seems like whatever resources were given, they are limited. And that in itself is absolutely frustrating, because I think that if this is what you're dealing with, and this is, why you're so bullheaded, I think that the limited resources are still being considered to be available, but it also looks like there is no communication to give off the idea that whatever this is, hold on, I'm gonna charge that. There we go, I got it. There's a lot of assumptions that are being made. So whatever the limited resources are, it hasn't been communicated. It's all being assumed, and it's all being projected, and it's very obnoxious. It's there, and it's more like just being told that something is going to be there for you. Nobody really expects you to jump on it. Nobody really expects you to have you take them up on the offer. So this is what I'm seeing. It looks like there's some fighting that is going to be going on, some new arguments that are going to be going on because of setbacks, because everything always seems to be just out of reach. People are constantly making excuses for why things can't happen. And I'm seeing that this is something that you're used to, and I think that this is what you're feeling. You're waiting for somebody to tell you that it's not possible, it's not going to happen, it's not going to win, it's not going to be able to do any of these things. And I see that the point of action that you are being guided to take in all this, keep plugging at your work. Keep plugging on doing your individual thing. Don't even bother trying to rely on people. All it's going to do is set you up for setbacks. Now, it is awesome to get help from people at certain times, but with what this particular venture is for you, there's going to be a lot of letdowns. So this is saying you got to make sure that no matter what, no matter who doesn't show up for you, you are going to be taken care of in this. It's not about everyone else. It's about you and getting control over your situation. I know that you want to be able to rely on people. I know that you want to be able to get help from them, but you also have to understand that that doesn't work for everybody, and that's not going to happen for you. No, it's not fair. It's not meant to be fair. It's meant to make you indisposable, but also it's so that there's nothing that could be really counting as a business transaction and or held over your head, because I don't know if you know, some of the people that you would have relied on, this would have been a tally mark that they would be like, all right, now we gotta make this even. So the outcome of this seems like there's going to be setbacks, and you're going to have to really work on this for yourself. And I want some clarification on the Page of Wands in reverse. You have a high risk of self-sabotage in this because you're afraid of what this is going to mean if all of this falls on your shoulders. So you may be talking yourself out of the situation right now. You might give up, you might lose passion. Those are all absolute possible things. So I see that there is part of you that is going to be backtracking. That sucks, but it is what it is, and it sometimes happens. Not everything is all glitz and glamour and wonderful, but let's get clarification on the death card for this. You have The Five of Pentacles in reverse. I think that you're going to be taking a lot of pride in making this happen yourself. So how can you avoid this losing momentum? How are you going to survive losing momentum? Have confidence. Oh, so awesome. Just tell a depressed person not to feel sad. Yeah, that works. That works all the time. No, it doesn't. You can't just say have confidence. What about it? See only love. Daydream. You have to push for your creative juices to flow. Your problem solving skills. Heck, I would even tell you to, I know this sounds pretty silly. It might be actually beneficial for you to either do some sort of word game, some sort of ad lib, something that is problem solving. This might even involve a little bit of games with you. You need to get your creative juices flowing and the mental stimulation going. It might be beneficial for you to find a problem if you actually let your mind kind of drift and wander into that kind of creativeness. I hate games. Can't tell you how much I hate games. I am the anti-gamer. Cannot stand it. Yet everyone I love and care about is a massive gamer. Who knew? No, actually I did, but I don't get it. But so the have confidence, you have to be able to problem solve and build your own confidence and get really creative with the problem solving. Every little setback, I want you to sit with and look for a solution rather than beating yourself up about this. So everything that was past errors, past mistakes, past misfortunes, past taking for granted, you kind of got to see it for how that has benefited you. When people took you for granted, when people took advantage, when people made tons of mistakes, what did this teach you? How did this make you stronger? I don't want the answer that you think that you should give. Give the actual raw answer on this. So focus on how there was love underlying every single one of those situations. And this can actually bring about healing. When somebody was thinking that you would never stop something, that you would never leave something, and they took you for granted in that way, in some twisted way that was, in a sense, affirming that you were the sense of stability for them. Now, it's not right. I don't want you taken for granted, but also it shows that you are the most stable thing to other people out there. But also it gives you the power to discern what it is that you want to be that stability towards. What is bringing you to life? What is giving you feedback? What is giving you that positive sense of energy? And how did you overcome all of those errors when everybody seemed to drop the ball around you? Did you just kind of get through it? Did you lay low until it happened? Were you proactive in finding a solution? And the daydreams are, I do see that in the moments of this that you did give up, you actually were more receptive to Spirit's solution in this. So this can come about in any of the clairs. Clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, all of them. And I do see that when you had the case of the efforts and the giving up and life was just happening around you and you were going through the motions, that's when Spirit was mainly talking to you. Mainly trying to talk you off that ledge that you probably wanted to jump off. By the way, I'm speaking figuratively. And it was able to get through a lot of messages that were like seeds planted in your mind with this. And I want to see where this is even taking me. So, in getting the message to you and planting those seeds, this brought about creative projects. So this was a lot of self-expression that I think that you were able to be a little bit more eloquent with, and you were able to receive gifts from what seems to be nowhere. People coming out of the woodwork and just kind of dropping things off at your feet. I actually feel like there may have been either money, there may have been either emails or signs of something being just kind of dropped right in front of you. This was more or less a gift from Spirit, and it was an answer to whatever your prayer was. So it either validated why you should stay away from a certain situation or certain people, or it gave you this outstanding opportunity that you didn't even think was a possibility. It didn't exist in the mind. And here it was, dropped in front of you. Oh my God, this would be perfect. So that's where I see things going with that particular aspect of it. When people were taking you for granted, you got the information and you got the backing up to make another decision in which direction you were going to take this, what actions you were going to take. So what I see with this, chaos and conflict, let's see. Things are really getting stirred up in your life right now, and I think that that is just the best thing. Every setback is truly a blessing in disguise. It is a redirection in something that would not have worked out. It really doesn't make sense to live in the coulda, woulda, shouldas, especially when this card shows up, because even in the hardships, even in the hard no's, even in the dead ends, even in the biggest mistakes, it is a redirection to where you are meant to go, and it is all part of this bittersweet fate. And I see that the chaos and conflict is not something to avoid right now. You have to see it as the adventure into order of what it is. And Spirit is trying to give you an upper hand in that, and understanding that when you're hearing a no, when you're seeing a door close, it's actually something to get you excited and to realize, I guess, the journey up ahead. So as a final outcome after this, you need to sit back and observe what's going on. You're not meant to do this alone. The fates are saying that it shows up in very unexpected ways, and this is going to be happening in a timely manner, and it's going to be coming out of nowhere. Don't compare your timelines up with others. You keep yourself busy right now and follow the redirection. You have to allow for the co-creation in this to happen. You are so proud in doing everything alone. It's not going to be you with others. In this instance, it's going to be you with Spirit. You have to allow for the co-creation to happen. The most unexpected fates are going to be bringing themselves to your front view right now. So this, absolutely amazing. Time is in your favor. Even if it doesn't seem like everything is happening is actually happening. And look, 42, the answer to life, the answer to all. This has been the Daily Tarot Oracle, the daily insight on life and love for August 4th, 2022. Again, being timeless. Wherever you're catching in time, I hope that it's relevant, and I hope that this finds you well. If you do have questions about booking a reading or any of my services, reach out and make the connection. I look forward to connecting with you. Stay safe, have fun. Bye. Major life choices are underway for you that you have got to do for yourself. I don't want you to let this freak you out. This is absolutely on brand with your transition and what this new part of your life is going to look like. And I think that this isn't necessarily what you want to do, it's what you have to do for the good of yourself. And I see that this is going to take a lot of patience and discipline with yourself, a lot of earth energy around this. So you may be having one of your major threes, Sun, Moon, Rise, or Venus. Okay, so that's major 4 now, isn't it? We can throw Mars in there too. Any major point of your astrology chart is probably an earth sign, and this might be a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn on here. So the major choices that you are going to be making involve a lot of grounding and being very straight with yourself. There's something that you really have to work on when it comes to you, and you need to work on your independence, you need to work on thriving, you need to create a solid base for yourself right now. This is absolutely a selfish time, because this is going to be you separate from pretty much any other person. I mean, there's always wonderful bits to rely on with others. This is the courage for you to strike out on your own and create a new sense of a foundation. Whatever the foundation was before, and this might not be love, but this is going to be a foundation in which something in your life was built on. It's exposing it for what it actually was. So there seems to be a lot of deception around whatever this life choice was. And I'm seeing that there's a lot of healing that you need to do from this. So whatever the contract was before, it feels like it was really contractual, like contract, is contractual a word? But anyway, I see that whatever the contract was before, It was definitely skewed, and there was a lot of fine print that was not brought to your awareness. There was a lot of gaslighting you and taking you for all you were worth in this. And I think that this took a lot of mental toll on you mentally. And I see the exhaustion that is coming in, and you need to rest and recover. For you to step away from this is very courageous, and it takes a lot of strength to do that. And I see that this is going to slow your world down by like tenfold. And I see that there's a lot of emotions that need to come out that I think that you have pent up for quite some time. And I think that you're starting to recognize the lies that you were told. It was almost like you were brainwashed by somebody. And this is something that you kind of can't base the rest of your life off of. So you have to let this foundation crumble, heal, and then reestablish something else. But whatever it is, you have to do this for yourself and really ground yourself and take the authority role for you. So it's going to be a long road to recovery, but it does have a massive new material to work with. In order for you to move on, in order for you to actually be taken care of and protected, you need to talk about what happened with you. You need to talk about why you're so down and out about yourself, why you don't feel like moving around a lot, why you feel like your world is caving in. This is something that you've been guided to do for a while. There's two paths in front of you. I think that you're afraid of somebody attacking you for this. I think that you're afraid of somebody emotionally erupting in front of you. And I do feel like this is somebody who's been long standing in your life. I'm talking years. This person has groomed you enough to be afraid of them. And it reminds me of a quote that I heard decades ago. I would rather you fear me than love me. And I'm really getting this vibe in here now. So this is somebody who, while they should be, taking care of you, it seems to invoke a sense of fear in you. And the Wheel of Fortune feels incredibly positive because you and disengaging from whoever this volatile person is gives you a sense of victory. One of the main things that this person had as far as power goes was hanging on to those who feared them. And them losing you, you're taking away a lot of their ammo. They don't really know what they are if they aren't, having this air of authority, of intimidation, or this air of direction in people's life. And I see that this is kind of where you currently are. You are taking that back and making the changes. The main point of this reading is that change is afoot, and waiting for those masculine figures to attack you, it's not something that should stop you. It should be something that it's like almost standing up to a nightmare. I think that you're in a different place in life. I feel like part of you is still very much feeling like a very frail human being who can't stand up to intimidation. And I think that this person, whoever this is, whoever's been this scary figure in your life, they are still banking on you feeling like that frail human who's not going to stand up to them. Either that or you're not going to speak out against, what has happened that has hurt you, that you have to heal from. There's a lot that you blame yourself for that is really not yours to bear, but I see that this was something that was projected onto you. I think it's from the shame of others. I really do. I think it's from the shame of others. Somebody is going to be hurting in this, and I mean this in a figurative way. I think there's shame and humiliation, but I don't see that this is what you're going to carry. I see that this is what's going to get you back into the driver's seat of your life. I see that somebody's going to have a realization about whoever this brute was in your life, and it's like they can't look at them the same. Whatever their reputation had been, whoever idolized them, you can pretty much guarantee that that's going to be over fairly soon. The Wheel of Fortune is talking about a new cycle that is really working in your favor. I don't want you to be afraid and speak out against, what has happened to you. This is going to cause healing, and I do see that you're going to be moving on to smoother waters. So the best thing I can say is reach out for support into the resources that you can find. And not now, but eventually and down the road, this will be water under the bridge and you will be healed. But it looks like the healing has to start now. So what I'm seeing here is you really need to work on being present right now. Don't look at the past. Don't you dare look towards the future. I know that that's going to make you anxious right now. You need to be in this moment. And we have peace right now. So this is in reverse. With everything that is happening outside of you, all the chaos, all the funk, all the fighting, all the scariness, all of the worldwide events, you have got to get to a place of calm. You need to create a special and safe place that is going to give you a sense of balance and relaxation. So to breathe, it's not about you and doing anything wrong or being hyper vigilant. It's about you being patient. I think that you and being patient right now is probably a lot like trying to baptize a cat. It's really not going to be a thing that happens. Despite outside circumstances, you have got to learn how to not only breathe, be patient with everything else not meeting up your expectations, everything else going absolutely bat crazy, and you don't have to react to what's going on around you. You don't have to include yourself in that very demented energy. So this is saying there's something that you keep trying to make work in your life and it's not working. It's not being fulfilled. You have to recognize that the plans that you had laid and the lifestyle that you had laid in the past, everything that is crumbling right now, this might be part of it. It looks like you have to look at being adaptable in your uncertain circumstances. Your situation isn't working, and Spirit is going to redirect you into something that is not only going to work, it's going to be better off for you. And it feels like you're being uprooted and replanted elsewhere. Yeah, chaos and conflict. Don't try and get out of the storm. Learn how to go with the flow of the storm right now. This is going to be your best bet. It's going to be a rocky ride, but if you keep fighting through it, it's going to hurt you all the more. Let yourself be carried. This is a very important time for you. You don't need to get into the escalated energy of the storm. You can keep yourself calm and centered. So I want you to work on recentering yourself, and I'm sure that there's videos on YouTube on how to do it. So this is going to involve you going to, kind of weird like saying, a happy place. I want you to create that visualization, and this is something that I learned in hypnosis, over a decade ago. When you are repositioning yourself from a situation that you don't like, I want you to visualize a circle on the ground, or a circle on the ground. Take your circumstances, have it outside of that circle, and then I want you to mentally or physically step inside of that circle. And when you're doing it, when you're going to that beautiful memory, that happy place, I want you to squeeze that thumb there, and I want you to keep putting yourself in that circle and out of that circle about 3 times. And so when you start to get into a really stressed situation, I want you to repress that spot, and I want you to mentally visualize that circle and step into it and reclaim that sense of peace. I hope that that helped. I hope that that made sense. And if it didn't, I'll make a more in-detailed video of it. So it looks like you are going to be setting up. Let's see. It looks like you're going to be setting up a dialogue with Spirit. There's been a lot of chaos in your life right now. You want to make all this action and movement forward. You really want to conquer everything, and I think that that is truly amazing. The Thinker is in reverse, and so is Milk and Honey. You are really over-preparing yourself and overthinking this, not even trusting that you're going to get your footing right on this. Analysis paralysis is truly a thing. You get frozen in fear thinking about all the outliers, all of the variables that can throw themselves in when you allow yourself to get there, every stupid movement comes in impossible. This is saying you don't need to over prepare yourself. You have to trust that you're going to be able to conquer this as it's coming towards you. You are more capable and you are more in charge of yourself than you even give yourself credit for. It's like you never gave yourself a chance to truly believe in yourself. And we have the milk and honey here. You cannot disassociate and wait for this to just come to you. You really do need to be in the present. And that was actually just in a previous reading too. Going towards your coping mechanisms and tools isn't going to help you now. This is only going to hurt you more, and it's going to make the intensity of the situation even more unbearable because you're not working with what seems to be a sober mind. I don't care if your coping tool is alcohol, food, exercise. There's the addictive mind that is coming into play right here. You and just sticking this out and staying in the moment and not letting yourself overthink, keeping yourself in the moment and not distracted is really what's going to bring closure to this it's going to bring closure much sooner. And the mending, it's all going to come together without your need of micromanaging the situation. It seems really alluring, but it's not going to be feasible for you right now. So Spirit is telling you, you got to chill out and you've got to stop letting your head get to you on this. It's going to work out. It's going to come together. You need to breathe and trust a little bit more. Again, have your throwdown with Spirit. Have your dialogue with Spirit. They already know what's coming. So you can just vent your frustrations and kind of give it your demands with this. Not because you're an entitled punk or anything like that. It's because, well, you're calling it into experience. See what you can do with it. All right, this is for relationships that are actually in active communication. This could be platonic, this can be romantic. I'm not talking about people you haven't met yet. I'm not talking about people you are not allowed to have contact with. So I just want to clear the air on that one. Yes, in the past this has been a problem, and that's why I'm giving that disclaimer. And also, if somebody is toxic, abusive, or illegal, stay the F away from them. What I am seeing in this is I'm seeing a relationship that is going through a very strenuous time. You guys are on again, off again. You guys are running hot and cold with each other. This is a long journey for you guys. I see that somebody has been really stressed out, afraid, and withdrawing their affections. And I know that you want to chase after them because the runner-chaser dynamic, it is a thing. I see that this is not only a very deep soul-bound commitment, I see that this is not over. And I do see reunion that is coming in for you guys. Again, this is not for people who are not allowed to talk to somebody who are, and I mean this in a very legal way, by the way. And it's not for somebody who you haven't met yet. This isn't about people who are being abused or who are in a toxic situation or who are in an illegal situation. I want to give that disclaimer. I don't want you to think that any of that would be okay to pursue. But if you are consenting adults in a normally pretty good relationship, this reading might be for you. And I want you to understand that relationships all go through their ebb and flow. You guys are going through the absolute ebb, hitting a lot of hurdles, a lot of hardships. You both are in, well, however many people are involved in this, are incredibly stressed out. But I do see the very deep soul contract and soul bond here. And I see the emotional withdrawing. I don't want you to fight this. I don't want you to fight this person. I want you to allow yourself space to figure yourselves out and not feel overwhelmed like you are drowning, because it does feel like you guys are drowning right now. Again, figurative way. I see that there is a very deep commitment that is being resurrected here, and I do see that you guys are headed towards another milestone and deepening of intimacy. So all in all, this feels good. I see that there's many lessons that you both have to individually take on. You might not hear from somebody for a while. It's not because they don't love you. It's because they're working out whatever their emotional or heart pain or mental pain is. They're suffering a lot. Somebody is dealing with a lot of suffering. I'm sure that they will tell you about it when they come out on the other side of this. But you guys also have the Lover's card, which is a sense of perfect union. You got this, which is all about celebrations. It can detect, not only deepening of commitment, it can also detect weddings too. And then we have the Hierophant, which is all about faith and commitments. So Temperance is all about soulmates and being renewals and the long journeys ahead with each other. You guys are hitting some bumps in the road right now, and aside from the disclaimer that I see, this is going to be something where you guys can move forward together. So I hope that this made sense, and yeah, let me know how it goes. So what I'm seeing in here is I'm weirdly getting that this is actually a relationship. Please understand, this isn't about somebody who you haven't met. This isn't about somebody who you're legally not allowed to have contact with. This is not about abusive, toxic, or illegal relationships or situations. I want to say that as a disclaimer. So if you're not involved in any of that, this actually might be for you, because what I'm seeing in here is a major sense of loneliness and a sense of a new cycle coming in. So I feel like both parties who are involved, they're both feeling lonely and upset with a sense of stagnance in the relationship, like they haven't been able to move forward. It feels like they've had to go inward, they've had to be alone. Even if they're with each other, it feels like they had to be alone. And they had to kind of look inward and see what's really going on with them. I feel like this is a relationship that makes them really check themselves. The masculine figure in this, they're learning to cope with a very volatile, very angry energy, and it has nothing to do with their partner. This has everything to do with, I think, what they've already been through in their life, and that this is their default and how they know how to be. Do I think that they're hurting their partner? Not at all. And again, if they are, get the heck away from them. I don't care what the cards say. This is somebody who's very angry and who runs very hot and cold with life. And this is not something that is productive for the road moving forward, and they know that. So I think that that's why they had to go inward to figure out what their problem is and change that anger and find out what the underlying reason is, and ultimately change themselves in that. And I think that this was triggered by Divine Feminine. It doesn't have to be male, it doesn't have to be female, but Divine Feminine triggered the masculine into seeing exactly what their trauma is and why they're so volatile and unstable within themselves. So this Divine Feminine energy, they are very playful, they're very charismatic, they're very loving. This is somebody who can light up a room. And again, it doesn't have to be male or female. I do not care about the gender specifics in this. This person tends to have more of the feminine. This person tends to have more of the masculine. The masculine is very much dealing with an upset. And I see that they are climbing out of whatever their bad times, whatever their depressive state is. I know that Divine Feminine has these bouts too, but I feel like them and being the charismatic love and wonder that they are to this person, and that this person right here couldn't respond the way that they would have in previous relationships where it would have been butting heads. This person is transforming this person with a sense of compassion and love and curiosity. So I really love this, and I really see that while each individual was lonely in this, I see like they pulled the best out of each other with this. So there's a brighter road ahead, but it needs patience. But I see that there's passion between these two, and I see that they can actually talk about the upsets and how the relationship has not necessarily made the progress that they had hoped for yet. But I see that there's deep compassion and understanding for each other in this. So I hope that that made sense. And if this makes sense to you, go ahead and reach out and let me know what's up.
Okay, the first picture is how other people see your love life. The second picture is how you see your love life. Aww. And finally, how your love life is actually going.